Today, we are inside the 2024 BMW 430i, and it's the brand new one that just landed at the dealer lots. We have the curved display screen with the xDrive 8 system, which is brand new. I'm going to take you guys for a POV drive today. We're going to play around with the infotainment system. We're going to get a good feel for the car on the back roads, on the highway, and explore. But before we do that, let's hop outside, do a walk around this vehicle, and talk a little bit about the spec that it has. Pop the hood too. So like I said, this is the 2024 BMW 430i. It is the Essential package plus the M Sport package. It has the 797 bicolor wheels with the all-season tires. It's got the upgraded blue M Sport brakes. It's got the high gloss black exterior content. So M Sport package at the front is going to give you this M Sport front bumper, so a much more aggressive look. The high gloss black exterior content is the kidney grille and the tailpipes. BMW's LED headlights. Underneath the hood is BMW's B48 engine, so it's a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, 255 horsepower. Close that. Yes, I mean, it's perfect spec. I mean, Alpine White exterior, black interior. It's got everything you need. So the upgraded Essential package, M Sport package with the M Sport wheels and the upgraded M Sport blue brakes. At the back, we have the M Sport rear bumper, small diffuser, 2 small tailpipes, the chrome 430 badge. Take a look at the trunk space. Aha, I left the key inside, so let's open up the door first. Unlock all the doors. Enough gas shocks to fully power up, but it's not the automatic tailgate, so you do have to manually pull it down. 2 pull relievers here to get into the back seat. It's going to do a 40-60 split. Yeah, I mean, as far as a coupe goes, we have all the trunk space you need. Take a look at the interior here. So M Sport pedals, M Sport steering wheel, M Sport door sill. These are the M Sport seats, but those are standard regardless whether you have the M Sport package or not. Back seat space. So when you pull that forward, the seat's automatically going to power forward. Now, funny enough, the 4 Series is BMW's mid-size coupe. There's the 2 Series below it and the 8 Series above it, but it has the most amount of rear space in it compared even to the 8 Series. It is a 4-passenger only. There's no center seat belt. At the back there, we look like we have the own climate control zone. It looks like they did delete. Last year's model would have had 2 USB-C ports here, so that is a delete there from last year. Then of course on the inside we have this curved display screen. Push button start is down here by the shifter. The shifter was also changed as well. Before you had a big one up here. Now it's just a small little toggle. This xDrive 8 screen is massive, massive. And then the climate control menu is no longer here. It's been pushed up into the screen. But tone that down a bit. We will play around with the infotainment system as we get on the road, but let's get on the road and go for a drive. Before we get on the road, I do want to do a shout out to Parkview BMW. Thank you to Parkview for providing the test drive vehicle for this video. If you guys are in the Toronto marketplace and you're looking to purchase a BMW, make sure you guys reach out to Parkview BMW. I will leave my email down in the description below, so you can reach out to me and I'll help you out on the sales side. Yeah, thank you to Parkview BMW for buying that vehicle. Got a fire truck coming in. So this car does have a very large sunroof here, as you can see. Full power shade option to open that up, so we'll let some sunlight in here. Let that fire truck go ahead. We'll let this traffic clear through, and we'll get on the road. So we're just starting out in comfort mode. We'll do a soft acceleration here. I was probably 50% of the power and we got up to speed pretty quickly. So we are in comfort mode, and the car does also have sport and eco. So if you go into eco, everything goes blue, get a slightly different gauge cluster. And then when you go into sport, everything goes red. And there's sport and there's sport individual. Now, I like sport individual because you can customize it and you can say, oh, okay, I want the steering to say comfort, but I want the drivetrain and the transmission to go into sport. So then you go, perfect, the steering doesn't get heavy. Because when you're in normal sport, the steering wheel gets heavier, the feedback feel is a lot heavier. Now with the new xDrive 8 system, it does allow you to customize your gauge cluster. So if you click this button on the steering wheel, and you go in here, you can scroll up and go through different content that you'll see. I mean, the most popular one's going to be the map view here. You can also have the G-force meter. And your music. But most popular one seems to be the map view. Get another little acceleration sport. Much quicker. We've got a lot of sport noise there. Now, one thing with sport is if you come into the menu and you go into vehicle apps, we'll come back to this in a bit, but driving settings, iconic sounds. So you can actually turn it on and off now. Previous generation BMWs could not. So we're in sport mode, we're accelerating. Pretty quiet, you can kind of hear the engine, but if you put iconic sounds on, accelerating, you hear how much more noise, more sport noise there is, more exhaust noise plumbed into the cabin. Well, that personal assistant is a lot more intense on this new iDrive 8 system. Now back to the gauge cluster. Last thing I want to show you guys, if you're in comfort mode, there's one additional option that you get besides just your content. And if you had the enhanced package and you had a head-up display, you'd also be able to configure your head-up display here. But when you're in comfort, you get layouts. So this is kind of like the sport gauge layout. This one was the wide one for the more eco layout. And this one is the only one you can do only in comfort. Once you go into sport, it's automatically going to be this in sport, only going to be this in eco. But in comfort, you can choose between those two and this third option right here, which I find is pretty cool. Now with M Sport, I noticed they put little tri-color M lines at the top of every gauge cluster. But look at how big this map view is, just in the gauge cluster. Not to mention you have the map view over here. Let's input a destination and show you guys. I'm just going to go back to Parkview BMW. Now,
turn left at the traffic light onto Dawn Mills Road.
Personally, I don't like the voice, so I always tap over here and turn off the spoken instructions. Now you notice that everything's white over here. Once you map the vehicle with your driver profile, you'll get the real-time traffic info, and then it'll go green and orange and red. Speaking of your driver profile, go to the main menu, BMW ID, this is your driver profile. So this allows you to save everything to your driver profile. If you have two people who are sharing the car, you have two profiles, second person gets in, they unlock the key, everything switches over. All right, let's do a normal acceleration here at the green light. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be able to outpower almost anybody. The all-wheel drive system in this car is so good, it just accelerates forward. There's no wheel slip, can't tell where the power is coming from. It's rear-wheel drive bias, so it still has that great sport handling feel, but excellent traction. So like I was saying, with the BMW IDs, you can save everything. You can save the gauge cluster configuration, your seat settings, the mirror settings, the temperature settings to save over. And then also, I'm gonna get into it, but there's safety systems that you can engage and customize. All of those are saved to the driver profile and the ambient lighting. But we're about to get on the highway here, so we're gonna put it into sport mode. I get a good feel for the handling of this car. Let's dive into this corner. I've got very good confidence in this car. Sport mode, we've got good pickup, not amazing, but that's why BMW also offers two larger engine variants to this chassis. But the handling is great, just zipping around these corners. Those M Sport brakes are strong. They're a little firm on that initial bite. I find when you're just trying to engage them, they can be a little nippy there. And of course, welcome to Toronto. Even when Google Maps or Apple Maps says that there's no highway traffic, you get on the highway and boom, it's a yellow, it's jammed up. But I think once we get over the hill, it'll clear up for us. But you can see in the gauge cluster the navigation showing us where we need to get off, which I love that feature. And then more into the iDrive system, so you can go all apps, or you can sort infotainment apps, so Android Auto, Apple CarPlay are both standard, both wireless, FM, satellite radio, your favorite presets, your telephone. If you're connected your phone music or whatever you have on your phone would show up here, navigation. And then vehicle app is like the vehicle settings. So you have your BMW ID, mobile devices. There is the personal assistant. You can set it to keywords. You can say, hello BMW, navigate me here, navigate me there, or you can use it through this microphone. You have your system settings, so general time, automatically set that time. If you go into a different time zone, it'll change for you. Your language, voice control, units, everything else is in here. Even valet parking, won't get into that because you need the BMW ID to get into that. We've got a little bit of a gap here. We're gonna do a full accel. So we're in sport mode, and you can actually put your transmission into sport mode too. It's gonna affect those revs. We're gonna do a full acceleration here just to get a feel for it. And we got the brakes to back it up. Wow, I thought it was normally the highway clears up right around this area, but we are in even more stop and go traffic, so we don't get a good feel for the highway on this vehicle. But I mean, it's a 2-liter engine. There's not, you can't open it up too much. We don't have the Autobahn tier in Canada. But back to the iDrive 8 system. The next one is your interior lighting. And the one thing I love about BMW is you have this very responsive touchscreen up here, but you also have the iDrive controller, so you have both ways control. I find while you're driving, the iDrive controller is a much better function, but then the touchscreen is much better when you're sitting still or you need to enter in a navigation point. So interior lighting is enhanced with the iDrive 8. We have 15 different colors to choose from. We now have like pinks offering, red offerings, yellow offerings. Before it was like blue, it was green, it was purple. Now we have like 5 or 4 different shades of blue. We have azure, turquoise, pearl. I guess on this one it's a little bit limited. On some of the other models there's a more expanded range. Maybe this one's not 15. You can even reduce it for nighttime driving. Dynamic light, if the car's running, the door's open, it's going to be flashing red. So you see ambient lighting is going to be on the door panel. It's going to be along the bottom of the dashboard. I believe it's here as well, and then all this in the foot area. There is an owner's manual, so you can go in, you can do keyword searches for anything. The climate control menu, that's the same as if you just hit this menu button at the bottom. Displays, so you can control your you know, add a couple things in here. Biggest one here is just like converted speed or speed limit assistance. You can see when I was going over the speed limit, it was going red. You can adjust warning with speeding. You can adjust everything in here. Doors and windows, so comfort door access. One thing I love is the proximity now. So not only is it works on the key handle, but you know, 1.5 meters away from the car automatically unlocks. 3 meters away from the car, and it automatically locks behind you. You can put in a digital key into your Apple Wallet or your Android Auto or Android phone. Sorry. Driving settings. So this is where you're going to get into the safety settings. So there was the chassis and drivetrain iconic sounds, which we were in before, but then there's driving assistance. So this is going to be your pre-collision. Do you want that early, medium, late? Do you want it off? Lane departure warning, same thing. Early, medium, or reduced are off. There's steering intervention to pull you back in. Blind spot monitoring. Fatigue alert. Do you want a speed warning when you get to a certain kilometers? It warns you. I mean, in Canada, you do more than 50 kilometers on the highway and you get stunt driving. So it'd be a good thing to set that thing at like 139 to make sure that, you know, you don't go over 140. Because these cars, they accelerate pretty quick. Parking, maneuvering, driving. Feedback, the vibration in the steering wheel, so you can see the pre-collision popping up on there, but it wasn't too close. Exterior lighting options, and then there's vehicle status. There's one other one that I missed, live vehicle. I like this one because when you're in sport mode, it's like adaptive content. So you see we got horsepower, torque, PSI for the turbo, and engine temperature. And as we accelerate, they go up. But if you go into comfort, it changes. You don't see the sport gauges. If you go into eco, it changes a little bit again. Although comfort and eco are pretty similar. Then you can also see what content you want to see, vehicle status, trip data. Then some menu for pulling up the vehicle apps there. That's pretty much it, everything for iDrive 7. The only thing I didn't talk about was the main menu. These tiles can be configured. You can move these around to where you want them to be when you're parked. I like map having at the very front there. Music, short keys to your phone calls and your music with these ones. And the last one's navigation, but you can also do that all through down here. Now down here, there's a few physical buttons left, like volume, next song, your hazards, front and rear defrost. And then right here, there's the flap for the 2 cup holders and the wireless device charging tray that's in there. Wireless device charging tray is a standalone option for $350. You have to make sure you build that into your car. You have your traction control button. Now one thing with iDrive 7 versus this new iDrive 8 is the old one, you just click traction control and it would change. Now you click it and it actually brings up the traction control menu. So a few things there are a little bit different. Proximity button for the proximity sensors around the vehicle. Went over Sport Comfort Eco. We also have auto hold and electronic parking brake, so when you come to a stop, it's gonna hold that brake for you. You can always just disengage that. And then that's pretty much it. With the transmission parks at the end, and that's it. So we're gonna get off the highway at the next exit here and work our way back, see if we can get a little bit of better driving. But I wish I had a little bit more to show for this video. Usually this highway at this time is clear, but I don't know what's going on. It's 11 o'clock in Toronto, and I can't even go downtown Toronto without being stuck in traffic here. So very interesting. I don't know why it's so backed up. Leafs lost last night, so I don't know what everybody's going downtown Toronto for. Maybe a Jays game. And then you have your rear view mirror. It's auto dimming. Same thing with the mirrors, are auto dimming. You can see the blind spot on the little triangle there. Sunroof controls, SOS for roadside assistance, some light controls. Central door lock is on the door handle over here. Memory seat savings, blah blah blah, is over here. Window controls, mirror controls. All right, and let's get off the highway. So we'll do a little bit of Excel here. Like BMW Sports Coupe, like I just have such confidence coming to this corner. Confidence in the brakes, confidence in the steering. Oh, I love these brakes. Say there's a lot of traffic here and you got to force yourself in. Okay, well, we can come in here, we step on the pedal, car reacts, just accelerates forward, brings you up to speed, and you're merged in with traffic. You don't have to worry about any traction issues. It's not front wheel drive. The steering wheel's not moving around on you. The car is planted, great grip, and just accelerates forward. All-wheel drive system. BMW's xDrive is one of the best ones on the market in my opinion. It's fantastic. And that was even in comfort. If you need a little bit more, you could always go into sport mode. All right, well, I pretty much showed you guys everything. We showed you customization of the gauge cluster. We went through the iDrive 8 system, showed you pretty much every menu that is in there, went through everything. We got a good feel for the acceleration, getting onto the highway. The braking is amazing on this car. Make sure you get the M Sport brakes. Sport package with a sport suspension. The leather wrapped sport steering wheel is excellent. Overall, it's a great car. I mean, if you're looking for a mid-size coupe, you don't need rear doors. This is a great option. BMW, they put out some of the best luxury performance cars in the marketplace. So definitely consider the 4 Series when you're considering having a luxury coupe. If you want something a little bit smaller, you can always go to the 2 Series. If you want something bigger, you can go to the 8 Series, but don't expect bigger as in more rear space, because you actually get less in the 8 Series, but that's a bigger car that has more presence. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments down below what you guys liked about this video. If there's anything that I can improve in the future, let me know. What cars you want to see, just let me know, and I will do my best to fulfill your request. Yeah, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. And don't forget that if you're in the Toronto marketplace and you're looking to purchase a BMW, feel free to reach out to me at my email down below, and I will help you guys out on the sales side with BMW. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys on the next video.